Thousands have joined funeral processions in Jenin in the West Bank for 12 Palestinians killed during an intense 48-hour operation by the Israeli military. Massive crowds marched towards the cemetery. These pictures just giving you a sense of the scale of that turnout. Huge numbers, huge anger too, after Israeli forces launched 2 days of raids against what they described as terrorists launching attacks from Jenin. 8 of the dead were members of militant groups. Well, as the bodies were carried through the debris-strewn streets, the militants were seen firing into the air. The crowds could also be heard chanting as the procession weaved through the streets. Well, it comes after Israel said its air defense system had intercepted 5 rockets fired from Gaza into southern Israel in the early hours. In response, the Israeli Defense Force said their jets hit what they said was an underground Hamas weapons manufacturing facility.
Tonight, the U.S. military says it stopped Iranian forces from seizing 2 commercial tankers near the Strait of Hormuz just hours apart, even accusing Iran of opening fire on one of the vessels. The Pentagon releasing video of one of the encounters, saying it shows an Iranian military ship approaching the oil tanker Richmond Voyager, the Bahamian-registered tanker sending out a distress call. As a nearby U.S. destroyer responded, the Navy says the Iranians shot at Richmond Voyager, bullets ricocheting, flashing in the sky above the tanker. The Iranian vessel departing when the American destroyer approached. The Pentagon releasing images showing damage to the tanker and ammunition cases recovered from the vessel, saying in a statement that the Iranian personnel fired multiple long bursts with both small arms and crew-served weapons.
This is newly released video showing what appears to be a Russian military plane engaging in what the American military says is unsafe and unprofessional behavior today over Syria. This is what they're talking about here. 3 Russian fighter jets harassing a group of American drones. U.S. officials tell NBC News the jets got way too close, dropping flares. One Russian pilot even used what's called an afterburner, that really hot flame that comes out the back of a fighter, positioning it right up against one of those drones, making it harder for the drone operator to actually safely control it.
This is simply the biggest airstrike that fell on Lviv, on the western city of Lviv, since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russia. This morning, Lviv Mayor Andriy Sadovy was on site where the residential building complex have been hit by this missile, or those missiles. We don't know exactly how many fell on those buildings, but if you look at the scale of destruction, this is unfathomable. There were, according to the mayor, 50 flats that were destroyed.
Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko, who brokered a deal to end Wagner's armed move against Moscow, says Prigozhin is in Russia and not Belarus, as previously claimed. Wagner's boss has not been seen in public since the failed mutiny. The White House has previously said it has no reliable information to confirm his whereabouts.
Sabe.
At least 16 residents of the Angelo informal settlement lost their lives after inhaling nitrate oxide leaked from a gas cylinder. This highly toxic gas was reportedly used for illegal mining activities. 16 more people remain in hospital this morning for urgent medical care. 3 of them, we're told, are in a critical condition.
Tuesday night in Tunisia, several migrants were evacuated under police protection from their homes in Sfax. They were heckled by locals as they left. Others were taken in buses to an unknown destination. These tense nights followed the death of Tunisian Nizar Amri following clashes with sub-Saharan migrants on Monday night. Tensions were at their highest at Amri's funeral on Tuesday afternoon. 3 migrants have been arrested and Sfax prosecutors are investigating. Racist tensions have been escalating over the last few months. Tunisians stabbed a migrant from Benin at the end of May, and there have been several clashes in residential neighborhoods in the last 2 weeks.
Meanwhile, India is all set to go back to the moon. The Indian Space Research Organization is leaving no stone unturned to return to the moon with Chandrayaan-3. The tentative launch date is 13th of July. The payload fairing containing the lunar spacecraft has been installed on the LVM-3, the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle that will launch it to the moon's orbit. After the partial success of Chandrayaan-2 in 2019, ISRO is retrying the mission with improved technology.
Twelve countries in Africa are to receive 18 million doses of the malaria vaccine over the next 2 years, expanding access to 9 countries that were previously not on the list. The World Health Organization announced the move on Wednesday in partnership with UNICEF and the global vaccine alliance Gavi. Malaria kills nearly 500,000 children each year under the age of 5. The WHO says in 2021, Africa accounted for about 95% of global malaria cases,